Hi, today I'm going to talk about 5 reasons it's absolutely worth starting your healing journey after 50. And so that's what we're going to dive into today because I got a message today. I'm going to pull that up here. Not today. I got a message recently. I have a video called When You've Lived Your Life in Survival Mode and Now You're 50. I have a video about that. People love it. There's been so many views to it. But I got this question here, and not a lot of people ask this one. So this is the first time I've heard this one, but I think it's very valid, and that's really why I wanted to make this video. And but she wrote this, so I'm going to read this here. Um, she says, "You know what's weird is hearing this. Every other therapist talks about fight, flight, freeze, fawn, but never says you'll be out of it and what will happen next. Why bother healing at 65 plus? I mean, is life going to get 1,000% better? And at 21, shouldn't that have been the healing goal? Shouldn't have healing been the goal? Kind of weird to do it now. Also, what if your subconscious programming really hasn't improved? I mean, how would it be reprogrammed? That's scary. What if it's negative or worse than the last one? All these great questions. Okay, so that's what we're going to dive into, and we're going to talk about. But I'm actually, I informed this person I'm going to make this video, but I've already answered this question about what if the reprogramming is worse than the last one in a different video, and I want to tell you what that video is now. You can find it in YouTube, and it's Can You Trust Your Brain? And so it answers that question in depth. So I'm going to stay out of that one here because I can go into the weeds. So I'm going to not do that here. And I appreciate many of you love it when I go into the weeds and happily journey on there with me, but we're going to stay out of there today. So what we are going to talk about is 5 reasons it's absolutely worth starting your healing journey, even when you're over 50. Okay. So I also want to introduce myself. My name is Rachel McLeod, and I am a mental health therapist and an emotional wellness coach. And I specialize in helping people do the brain work for resolving symptoms of anxiety, depression, and traumatic stress. And I have a specialty in complex PTSD recovery. And honestly, the brain has a really beautiful process for resolving symptoms of anxiety, depression, and traumatic stress. But that brain process gets stopped and blocked, and it can get and so when that happens, we're not processing our symptoms, we're not digesting our experiences, our emotions, and our symptoms begin to build. And this problem can last a lifetime. That's why we get to 50 plus, and I, I'm not there yet. Okay, I'm close. I'm standing a couple years off, less than 5. So I'm not there yet. I started my healing journey at 30. However, um, I'm off in the weeds already. um, uh, but I treat a lot of people over 50, and it's beautiful. I'm going to talk about that. But let me get back to this. And so that's how we got to 50, and our symptoms haven't resolved yet. And not only that, they've grown, and we've got a bunch of challenges going on because that process is impaired. And so my work specializes in getting that brain process up and running, and then helping the brain resolve the symptoms. And so that's my entire stuff. I'm going to refer back to that a little bit. Um, so, uh, but having said that, let's dive in. 5 reasons. Okay. The first reason is your brain can rewire at any age. There is no limit to neuroplasticity. We can rewire. She talked about the programming and reprogramming this. And what if the programming is worse? It's never worse because as we're walking this brain process, that we're getting that process up and running, and the brain is actually processing and finally digesting stuff that it hasn't been able to digest or process in decades. It automatically goes up to the executive functioning, and they start resolving things. And this is your team. These parts of your brain specialize in making your life amazing, helping you master life, helping you grow, helping you make connections, solve problems, those types of things. And so when this process gets unblocked and unstopped, that part gets to go to work. And we want that part working a lot because that's the part of your brain that should have been running the show, not survival mode. not the survival parts of the brain. But the survival parts of the brain shut this other part down. It's like this seesaw, right? When survival mode is high, processing and executive functioning is low, right? And so we have the opportunity to really shift that and get processing high and bring down survival mode. And this part rocks. This part, these are the only parts of anyone's brain on the entire planet designed to help you thrive, reach your goals, and help you mature, create wisdom, all these beautiful things. And it's really uh, a regulation away. And I'm going to say a little bit more about that. But when survival mode is high, processing is low, and we stay here. The executive function parts of the brain are turned down, almost off, and they have to serve the survival system. They don't get to go do the things they're really good at. And so, if you don't trust them yet, it's likely because you haven't seen them work. I trust them because I work with them all the time in a myriad, hundreds of different brains, and I trust them implicitly because I've seen what they can do. But so and the rewiring they can make. Um, and I'm going to go deeper in here. This one, I just want this to be said that healing can happen at any time. And so that's one of the reasons why it's absolutely worth it, is because it's not going to fail. It's actually going to happen. Your brain is actually good at this, and you're going to watch it resolve stuff from all these decades and really do some really powerful things. So it's worth it because it can actually happen. It's worth it because it's absolutely transformational. It's worth it. Okay. So because you can rewire at any time, you can get your brain to do this for you at any time. And it's pretty amazing and it's pretty fun. And gosh, it's transformational. So the second reason that it's absolutely worth starting your healing journey at 50 plus is that you get freedom from the baggage that you've been carrying for years. And and when we're at 50 and we haven't, this process has been blocked, we've been dragging a lot of baggage, and our brain knows that the baggage is actually, when it gets processed, it becomes really healthy, beautiful solutions, new wiring, all these beautiful things your brain builds for you. But without that, your brain has had to figure out how to move forward in life without being able to build bridges and ways of being and higher functioning. So there's a lot of limping, there's a lot of coping, there's a lot of, instead of going a direct route, we have to go all the way around and then get to it. And it takes a longer time. It feels like everything's heavier, and it's exhausting. And so one of the things that happen when you don't have to carry around baggage anymore, you get your energy back. You find all these faster ways to get there. Your whole brain rewires the map, its map of the world, and so your world. And so it really starts creating shortcuts that were previously unavailable because too much pain unprocessed in the space. We got to go around the pain. Too much, not enough growth or development because this stuff hasn't been processed. That is the stuff that will become your health and wellness, your development and your growth and your maturation and mastery. And so it's just, you've had to walk through the terrain of life with so many challenges, so many obstacles, and a bunch of backpacks on your back. And that's a big deal. That's a really big deal. And if you look at many of the people around you that are seemingly doing this stuff effortlessly, it's a backpack issue. It's a baggage issue, and they're not having to drag that stuff around. And your brain can unpack these baggages quickly and powerfully. So, and it's been wanting to. If you've got symptoms of anxiety, depression, and traumatic stress, that's actually your brain trying to heal and process, and it's stuck. And so instead of going through processing, it's going through reaction, survival states, fight, flight, freeze, faint, or fawn. We actually want to use all that stuff for health and wellness and growth. Okay, number three, third reason is that it's worth it because it's transforming life experiences into deep wisdom. This is one of my favorite things to watch happen for people. We all grow old. We do not all grow wise. And the brain has a process for creating wisdom. It's the wisdom creation process. Okay, now let me tell you that it's a byproduct, it's an end product, a result, a consequence of healthy processing. And remember, processing is impaired and delayed when we're in survival mode. To create wisdom, the mind body system has to digest the experiences that we've had, the emotions that we've had. Now, at 50 plus, you've had a lot of experiences. And brains need a lot of experiences processed to make wisdom because we're going through life when we're young and we're doing a bunch of trial and error, we're making a bunch of mistakes, we're having successes, right? But the brain's job is to weave that all together and create wisdom, mastery, inner knowing, clarity, insight, that those sorts of things. If that process is impaired, we're not going to get that. We're not going to get wisdom. We're going to have a bunch of experiences that have never been woven together, right? And so if you start processing after 50, you're going to watch yourself become deeply wise and it's going to be astound you. You're going to be shocked. I promise you, it happens all the time. You're going to say, I can't believe I said that. I can't believe I knew that. Oh my gosh, it just came out of my mouth. I knew exactly how to respond to that person. I knew exactly how to respond to that situation because it's wisdom creation time and you get to do it too. You don't have to be stuck in resolving in symptoms of anxiety, depression, and traumatic stress, walking around with all that baggage, unwired for health and wellness, growth, adaptability, and wisdom, right? We get to wire that in now. And this is the time when it happens, and it's gorgeous now. Yes, it'd be fabulous if you started this at 21. I started my healing journey at 30. I'm very, very grateful. And we don't all take that route in the life journey, right? In our life journey, these healing methods were not available. I stumbled into this after quitting therapy because as a therapist, I was like, this is dumb. I hate therapy. I'm never doing this again. I can't believe I have a whole degree in this, right? Now, then I stumbled upon an intervention that actually worked and actually was transformative, right? When I was 30 and deep in obsessive compulsive disorder and a myriad of other problems having to do with mental health. Okay, so I wish you would have had that opportunity. I wish you would have had the opportunity even to start at 40 plus. I also struggle with jealousy watching these 19-year-olds that I work with just I mean, they just rewire and heal and grow, and then they get to do their whole life in wellness with a functioning emotion and experiential digestive process developed and moving. That would be awesome. However, they don't get to do as much and as beautiful wisdom creation then at 21. You have to wait till you're older to get the full wisdom benefits. And you know that there are caveats to this because we know very young people that are very wise. Their brain is really making this stuff, but this is your chance. And so, number 4 is that healing opens doors you thought were closed. This is a big deal. We're talking, I can't even explain this to you because I don't know what doors are available there. I never do. And then people start healing and processing, and then doors to relationships start opening, and doors to opportunities, and doors to businesses. Your brain starts seeing opportunities that perhaps it knew it was there, it just didn't want to show you because it knew it couldn't walk through it anyway. But all of a sudden, when you get this stuff processed, all of a sudden you're not carrying around the backpack, the baggage, and things are working, and your brain says, hey, let me show you this opportunity. And so these new things come into your awareness, and you have the energy and motivation to grab a hold of them. I watched this happen with 70-year-olds, 60-year-olds, 50-year-olds. I even did this once with an 81-year-old. It's happening. And it's so beautiful and refreshing and transformational and exciting when those new doors start opening, or the doors that were closed begin to open, that you saw were closed and you were longing for that. You couldn't get them open. They start opening as you heal. And that is wonderful for your life. Does your life get 1,000% better? Yeah, 1,000, probably more. Especially as these doors start opening and you're walking into these refreshing things. Maybe you now you're with a friend group that's different. Maybe your relationships, maybe you're on a new adventure. Maybe you've going back to school at 70. I don't know what you're doing, but That's better, that's awesome, and this is what your brain's designed to do, it's designed to help support you to thrive, to have its fulfillment and adventures. Okay, and the 5th reason, and this might be the most powerful, beautiful one. I love the wisdom creation piece, but this one tends to be the most meaningful to people, and that we are breaking cycles, strengthening relationships, and leaving a legacy. And that is phenomenal. So, breaking cycles, strengthening relationships, and leaving a legacy. This is where we're breaking generational patterns. We're resolving generational trauma. We are liberating our we're liberating our children, our siblings, our grandchildren from unresolved generational pain. And our systems are pain processors. We convert pain into wellness. That's what I watch brains do all the time. It's what all of my services and programs help people do, because it's a hard thing for brains to accomplish, is to get that pain conversion going on. But it's easy with the right support, and it happens fast with the right support. Today, I just sat with a woman and we did a huge pain. It's like a lake of pain in her inner world that was incredibly painful. Resolved that and brought that down. Well, actually, we didn't fully resolve it yet. But we brought it down from a 10 to probably what looked like about a 3 of intensity. And now I taught her, I gave her the homework for continuing to finish processing it outside of sessions. And so when I see her next time, we'll have a different project because that one will be finished. And but that pain that she has is going to help her connect more with her family, her children, because she's not at her the nervous system's guarding the pain. And so when people touch it, we explode or we shut down or we retreat, or we feel like, oh, I can't risk a connection here because I can't be hurt like that. We get that resolved, and all of a sudden I want to have the conversation. Oh yeah, tell me all about it. And we let our children start talking to us about how we hurt them. We start seeing our children with our grandchildren. We start loving them instead of fighting them and causing more problems. Everything gets more functional, and we're starting to strengthen relationships and leave legacies of health, wellness, connection, satisfaction, security, safety, stability, because you doing the work inside to get that stuff wired in there. And then your mind body system and can't help but pass it on. There's a concept of hurt people, and it's very true. It's not conscious, it's not a choice. Oh, I'm hurt, so I'm going to go hurt people. No, that's not how it happens. Because we're hurt, we are going to see and respond to pain that isn't there, and we're going to cause pain that wasn't there. And we're going to transfer the pain we feel onto others, onto our environment, all these things. And so the shift of that is that healed people heal people. And it's not a choice. Oh, okay, I'm going to go heal people. No, it happens because we can't help but give it to people. We can't help but hold people's pain with them. We're great. Our system's restoring its ability to convert pain into health and wellness. We can't help but do that with other people's pain as well. And it's not even stuff you have to really teach, because it's just loaded up in the system. The system understands pain and how it's converted because through experiences. That's what we're doing. We're walking the brain through its process of experiencing healing, transformation, wellness. We're not just talking about this. I don't do that. I'm not going to talk about. I'm not when you work with me, we're working. When you enroll in one of my programs, we're working. We're doing brain work. We're getting your brain to convert. We're getting your brain to rewire, to build. And then it just happens automatically. All these beautiful ways of connecting, supporting, loving, leaving that legacy, creating a legacy of health, wellness, connection, and depth and wisdom, and being that person in your family that not didn't just age, but became better and better and wiser and became transformational. And so and those people are highly magnetic. And so this changes your experience as well, because all of a sudden I had a client just we were working on a relational issue, and all of a sudden they're like, "Oh my gosh, they're gonna send their relative a message, very different. Not, "We need to resolve all these issues we have between us," but, "Hey, I'm proud of you," which had never occurred to the person before because the brains are obsessed with pain. And so the brain, she was only thinking about all the pain. All of a sudden, she messages this a relative, and then the relative calls back and has this phenomenal response, and now their relationship is on again, building. That stuff comes from brains just cooking, processing. And all of a sudden, you're going to see new solutions. That's what happened in her brain. Just jumped up this idea. Oh, I'm going to do this. Never had occurred before. That's your brain's job. And I want your brain doing it a lot for you because that's how it's going to clean up all these areas of your life, break all these cycles you don't want to do anymore, all the coping strategies. And, you still have 50 to 20 years left to live with yourself. And I would like you to live with a brain that is high functioning, processing, creating health and wellness every day, not creating symptoms every day. And there's a bit of elbow grease, a little bit of work that's going to need to be accomplished, but it's worth it. It can even be fun. Maybe a little tearful here and there, but it as you see the results, it's worth doing. I have a fun to effort ratio that has to be hit in order for me to do something like eating crabs. The work to yum ratio is off for me. I'm not really that interested. It's good, but I don't really want to. But the work to awesome ratio of brain work is phenomenal. Even just 20 minutes of this work is transformational because we're working with electrical processes. The brain is all these emotions and experiences are running through us, our nervous system electrically. And so transformation's fast, processing is fast, but it's incredibly slow and not happening for a lifetime if that process is blocked. So I think it's absolutely worth starting your healing journey after 50. It's beautiful, it's refreshing, it's transformative. And one of the end products of processing is increased energy. Also increased, I'm adding, it's not just five, increased energy, increased motivation, and increased physical health and wellness. Because having to try to digest emotions and experiences and it's not working spends our resources, our energy, and our vitality. And so we want to get rid of that. And so we want to jump in, help the brain do its work and be successful this time. And we're going to watch our motivation, energy levels, vitality increase. And often this is also transformative and powerful. So, having said that, this is what I want you to do. If you have not yet started your healing journey, I want to invite you to try 3 of my favorite interventions for this. We need to work with a part of the brain that's different than what we typically work with. And this part is listening to the body. And so there are some interventions that take 30 seconds to 2 minutes, and we provide the brain a specific type of input, and then the survival system gets influenced to allow the healing pathways to turn on and to function optimally, and processing occurs. So these interventions are very different than what you would see in your traditional talk therapies, and we want that because talk therapy is fabulous for lots of things, but not for resolving anxiety, depression, and traumatic stress. So we really want to provide the brain the support to get it to process your symptoms for you because that's its job. That's not your job. That's its job. And these interventions can really give your brain that support. So I invite you to try those. Grab my interventions, try them out. If they work, great. Put them in your pocket. Use it a lot. If it doesn't work, throw it out. We're not trying to do stuff that doesn't work. So, and you'll be able to see the results. So the link to that program is in the description part of this video. Also, if you want to dive in and do my intensive course, it's an 8-week course, and but it's for resolving symptoms of anxiety, depression, traumatic stress, but also resolving stressors, reaching goals, resolving relationships, reworking, getting your brain to rewire, to make healthier and more flexible and adaptive your boundaries, your communication, anything. It's designed to really, your brain talks about what it guides the process, and then you support your brain. And then you guide your brain, like, hey, you missed this symptom I really want you to get rid of. And so you can, you and your brain can team up and get stuff resolved finally. So that's my program, Inner World Transformation. The links are below, also in the description. And also, I want you to know that I do work personally with people. I do one-on-one work and also small group work, and I offer personalized consultations. All that's available. You can learn all about that on my website, rachelmcleod.com. And I encourage you to heal. Start this journey. If you're midway through this journey, keep going. It's worth it. You know that already, though. But you know what? Sometimes we get in that healing place where we're like, is it worth it? That's a good spot. Get support if you need it there. That's a deeply transformational spot. Your brain's working on quite a few things, and you're about to see massive growth if you stick with it, which you will. So take care. Bye.